When Sundi arrived the next day, Chu Qiao had dolled herself up. She was dressed in red and gold, adorned by accessories of the same color. She was a picture of radiance. Sundi looked at Chu Qiao, stunned. After a while, he managed a smile as he said, "Miss, looks like you have sorted out your thoughts." The lady was sitting on the main seat of the main hall. The sunlight was blinding as it shone on her body. Despite being dressed in such a flamboyant outfit, the serious look in her eyes did not diminish. She looked at Sundi firmly and uttered in a cold tone, "It's all right. I think I did not disappoint you." Sundi was a little shaken, but maintained his calmness as he lowered his head. "I'm flattered by your remarks, miss." Chu Qiao did not say anything else as she waved her hand. "I think that you already know how to handle the situation. It's up to you to decide." "Yes, I will not disappoint you." In an instant, her salutation had changed. She turned around, finding it hard to even give a cold smile. Sundi hesitated for a while before he probed. "The ceremony will be in 3 days." 3 days? Chu Qiao raised her eyebrows. "Will it be too rushed?" "It's all right. I will hurry the ceremonial and rites departments." "What about the imperial edict and official letter of declaration?" Sundi smiled and replied naturally, "Miss, have you forgotten? The letter given by the late emperor to grant you the title of princess has not been filled with a name. With a few edits, everything will be settled. The timeframes are correct too. After all, it's a letter written personally by the late emperor. The officials will believe its contents. Furthermore, with your current influence, I think that no one will object to this too." You have an elaborate plan after all," Chu Qiao said emotionlessly. Sundi felt a chill up his spine as he said with a heavy tone, "I'll go and prepare for this now." "Okay," Chu Qiao nodded with a fatigued expression on her face. Sundi hurriedly turned around to leave. As he stepped out of the door, the lady's voice echoed after him, "This will be the last time." Sundi stopped in his tracks and turned around, but Chu Qiao had already stepped into the inner palace. Was it a hallucination? He frowned tightly. Sundi laughed heartily and looked up towards the azure blue sky. In that instant, he seemingly saw the late emperor, who was a friend to him, looking at him with a large grin on his face. "By doing this, I think you will feel happy. Even if you don't appear so, I think you must be exploding with joy inside." Sundi took a deep breath and shut his eyes quietly. "It's all right if you hate me. As long as I preserve the lineage of the Xiao family and the Liang Empire, everything will be worth it." On the 5th day of the 10th month, according to the late emperor's imperial decree, the general of Shiuli was announced as the royal imperial concubine of Liang. She swore under the royal seal that if she had any children in future, she would become the empress of Liang. As the decree had been made 3 months ago while Xiaoqi was still alive, Chu Qiao became the only woman who was given the title of imperial concubine, despite just being recruited. The entire world knew what kind of marriage this was. This concubine of Shiuli was unable to become pregnant with Xiaoqi's child. Hence, she could only stay as an imperial concubine all her life. The coronation ceremony was scheduled for 3 days later. Black curtains were draped all over the city of Tangjing, while the Department of Rites prepared the first black-colored royal robe in its 1,000-year history. Officials of various places scrambled to prepare their gifts. The sight of horses galloping along the passageways of the city towards the capital was prevalent. Everyone was waiting in anticipation for this posthumous wedding that would occur in 3 days. The attention of the various empires were fixated on this event, as the world was shook by this woman once again. Everyone knew that she would not just be a concubine, but the person who ruled over Tang for the next 10 years at least. This woman, who was born as a slave in Wei, had ascended to the peak of power, becoming known as a living legend with her experiences. When Yan Xun learnt of the news, he was in the midst of entertaining some important guests in his palace. Feng Ji walked over to his side and muttered a few sentences in his ear. His expression changed drastically as he spilt his cup of wine onto his black robe. The boorish guest smiled and asked, "Your Majesty, what's wrong?" Yan Xun laughed apologetically, shook his head, and replied, "An eagle which I have kept for many years has just flown away. Sorry to disturb you." "Oh, it's a bird!" The guest laughed heartily and continued, "Yanbei is a vast place. If your Majesty conquers Wei in future, you will have the world and everything else in your hands. However, since you love eagles, I will send someone to capture one for you. Wishing you all the best in your conquest." Another round of hearty laughter echoed out from Shuofang Palace, reverberating across the vast plains of the highlands of Yanbei. The world was big. Fate was really like an arrow. Once it was released, there would be no point of return. That night, Yan Xun ascended Lori Mountains and reached Neda Palace, along with some subordinates. The palace was still as spectacular as ever. He sat in there for a long time as the sun set, coloring the landscape a bright red like the huoyun flowers on Huolei Plains. As the wine trickled down his throat, his vision became blurry. The look in his eyes was no longer stern as he started to appear lost. As there was no one by his side, he had the room to allow his mind to take a break. "Chu, marry me. Okay. I will always treat you well. I will always believe you. Chu, once the conflict at the east ends, let's get married. Chu, all the storms have passed, but we're still together. Everything will change, but us. We will not change." A low laughter echoed out from the palace, startling Feng Ji. He turned around as he detected the fragrance of wine. "Your Majesty did not use to drink wine. Ever since that person left, wine has become a necessity to him." As Feng Ji thought of that person, he started to feel sad. Ultimately, they were two sad souls who had been separated from each other. They lived their lives in pain, neither side able to find peace. The winds of Yanbei started to feel colder as winter approached once again.